The A Show.
Where smart is the new sexy.
And now, April Hunter.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the Moderate Voice of Reason. It is awesome to see everyone. And across from me is my beautiful co-host, Big Ray Hernandez. How are you doing, Ray?
I'm all right. I'm
all right?
a little, you know the deal.
Comme si, comme ça? Más o menos?
Well, I mean, for people that watched me earlier this morning, I was kind of off my fucking game. I had a buddy of mine that passed away out of the blue. You know, it was fucking, it messed me up a little bit. And I've been thinking about it a lot because whenever something like this happens, he was only 40 years old. He just turned 40.
Yeah.
You know, whenever something like that happens, you know, your mortality, because it's already been in my mind because I'm like, shit, I'm almost 50. Do I have 20 years left? I can't. It's ridiculous. 2025. Am I gonna make it 80? So it's like, and then poor guy, you know, got shortchanged. So, yeah. But also it sucks, man. He's got 2 kids and stuff, and his wife. It's just, I honestly, it's been down now, and then I have to. My mindset is that I have to go to a funeral Friday before work. You know what I mean? So it's like shit. Now I got to look at his kids. Stare his wife in the face. Never met his mother. Nothing. You know, I worked with a guy for about 5 years. Good dude, man. So I'm just, you know, I hate cancer.
Oh my God, yeah, I do too, and I'm really sorry to hear this.
Yeah.
And,
so,
like, I know we've talked about this before, and I don't know if this is helpful or not at all, but there is a theory out there that there's only 2 reasons people die.
Mm-hmm.
And one is that their purpose has been completed here on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And the other is that they've strayed so far from their purpose, the only way to get back to it is to start over again, which is hard to come to grips with when people have children, young children.
Of course.
But I'm really sorry.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I know my purpose isn't fulfilled yet because I haven't won the lottery.
There you go.
So I hope when I win the lottery, I don't die. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know, right? You don't want to be like, oh, wow, look at that.
On the way to Maui. Oh, speaking of Maui.
I know. Real quick, I want to say hi to everybody here. Bigwig, Allie, Speedway, Cool, Awesome Dude, Winona, Chuck, Big Kenny. Hey, everybody joining us tonight. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Winona, I know you just had a birthday, so happy birthday to you. AB Twitch, Alex, thank you for being here. Yeah, so we actually tonight have a really cool guest coming in very shortly.
Mm-hmm.
Julius Caeser Mendoza from Weapons of Anew. I don't know if you guys are up on your new rock music, but they've been around for a little while. They always say it takes 25 years to be an overnight success, and that is the situation here. So if you haven't heard of Weapons of Anew, check them out. But Julius is the drummer there, and we are happy to have him on. He started right here in Tampa, and it'll be exciting.
Yeah, this is the symbol I have behind me. This is one of their symbols.
Yes, it is. And oh yeah, Eva's joined us. Hello. Oh my gosh, Big Kenny says he graduated with him. That's funny. So you're out in Pasco. Is it Pasco? You're out that way? So that's awesome. So yeah, so we're thrilled to death to have on Julius, and then we're going to talk about some other things real quick. So I have a story for you guys later.
Funny story, actually.
My dog got it. My friend came this weekend while I had a shoot. Okay, I'll give you a real quick. I had a week-long shoot, and my friend came in to also shoot at the end, and she threw her bags down. And unbeknownst to me, she had edibles in her bag. Not unbeknownst to my dog. So when we ran out to the airport to take the photographer to the airport, I came back and my dog had partaken quite a bit. And
how much we talking here?
Quite a bit. So I'm going to tell you that story. It wasn't funny at the time, but it is now. Spoiler alert, he had the best sleep of his freaking life. But just in case this ever happens to you, I'm going to save you a vet visit and tell you what to look for.
Okay.
So Yes. Anyway, today we're going to talk about a couple of key events happening here. And hi, Wade. Hello, hello. Yeah, Stone Puppy is no doubt there. So there was a few things that's in the news that you're probably not going to hear about. The first is that I don't know how many people are aware of this, but unfortunately, America does seem to be for sale as far as our land. So where there is desert and drought right now, we have Saudis growing alfalfa in our country. Now, alfalfa is a very water intensive crop, and it's completely illegal to grow this in Saudi Arabia because of how much water it takes. So they grow it here and then they ship it back. So what's happening, unfortunately, is that they are killing the water supply for the local farmers all around the area. So it's really destructive right now. And that is something you're probably not going to hear about in the news. I don't know how many people are aware of how much land is not owned by the United States anymore. So, for example, most of New York City is owned by Abu Dhabi. China owns quite a bit of our land. And you know how we do foreign aid packages to the countries that we'd like to control?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they do foreign aid packages for us too. So you'll see a lot of, European financial aid comes to us. We just don't talk about it.
So the Catholic Church doesn't own as much as used to back in the day. Catholic Church used to own a ton of, especially like in New York.
I honestly, I would reckon that the Catholic Church is still very embroiled in our politics and everything that we do.
You know,
they're just more on the DL now.
Just for you, real quickly, while you were talking about this, I did find video of the dog eating the weed. Would you like to see it?
Oh, sure. Since I didn't take a video, I got to see this one.
Yeah, here you go. Yeah. You might be. I mean, it looks. I don't know if you. Here we go.
Dog is mean, man. I know, right? Somebody got to do something about this shit, right?
Now, this is when the dog actually.
I heard about it. Hey, little fella. Hey, smell it. Hey, smell it. Okay. All right.
Now, is this actually what happened?
Good boy.
Yeah, that is exactly what happened.
Huh?
That is exactly what happened.
So right now we'll see the dog start flipping out here. I don't know if you guys are. But what was the dog's name, by the way?
Well, it was Max. It is now Max Chong.
Now this is what happens when you give a dog marijuana.
Yeah,
or when the dog eats marijuana.
Likes it. Look at him, man.
Dog's getting all high and shit.
Man, what did you guys do to him, yo?
Nothing, man.
Yo, kill.
Killer's not gonna
Kill, yo.
No. Now here's what happened. Here's what happened.
This weed is fantastic.
That is one of the greatest scenes
in
movie
man,
history.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Have you ever seen Half Baked?
A long time ago.
Oh my God, I love Killer. Anyway, but all right. So now you're telling me that so the Arabs are selling alfalfa, right?
Yes, they're growing it here and shipping it back home. And
why?
Dark Side Caster, for food, for their everything. So alfalfa is
why can't they grow it there? I'm confused.
Because it takes too much water, and it's illegal to take that much water for a crop.
So they got to use our land? I mean, not
they got to use our water.
Oh, their water is shit. Got it.
Yeah. So we need our water. So that's why I'm saying it's very destructive to the farmers around them, because there's a drought in Arizona and other areas right now, and it's destroying the local farmers around the alfalfa fields.
That makes sense. Oh, well.
Yeah. So there's that. We are also experiencing a lot of disruption in marine life because of windmills. So something about the windmills is killing marine life, especially whales right now. It's also, I don't know what's happening there. Wade says the problem is they're growing in areas where they're already struggling to get water to the farmers, which is true. And for some reason, this is legal and allowed, and the government just turns away from it. So, again, not in our mainstream news. So, something that we should be aware of. We do only get a little bit of the story ever. Information is something that Americans are not allowed to have. So, we are stuck having to research on our own, and then they have the audacity to call us conspiracy theorists when we come up with the answers.
Here's some news I don't really ever hear. Apparently in Florida, and this is just off the top of my head, is it true that people you have manatees over there? Is that what it is? Manatees?
We have lots of manatees, yeah.
All right. So apparently around this time of year, people just flood 911 with calls because manatees are just boning each other all over the beach. Is that true?
Well, there's a manatee mating season, yes. I have a video of manatee sex.
How is that?
Manatee porn.
Does it look like me on my wedding night, or like?
I don't know. Do I want to see that?
No, I don't think you do. It's just a lot of crying. It's a lot of crying and a lot of crying and a lot of crying and my wife consoling me. It's okay. It's normal. It's fine.
Then yes, it's exactly like that.
Okay.
Are you serious? I was out on Little Manatee River, and I was kayaking with my friend, and she's like, "Look, manatee porn," and we just watched them rolling around and going and going. So I was like, "Really?" So right?
They make noise. They're like sounds.
No, at least these two didn't. I don't know.
They're silent.
I mean, there could be those ones that are like,
what the fuck? No, it does sound like me on my wedding night. I had no fucking clue that was even a thing.
Yeah. So Cool Awesome Dude says, seriously, people are getting freaked out or grossed out at manatees getting it on. Well, let me show you something, you guys.
You dare show manatee porn.
I'm gonna show manatee porn.
All right, fine, whatever.
Let me show you the headline from this week's newspaper, and let me show you how dumb people are. See that?
Say, stay right, pass left with care.
Yes. Do you see the girl's face? So read the small byline there. Hang on, where is it?
Okay, right there. Boom. It says, new rules for what is it? Penniless trail users cause confusion. Why is it confusing? I don't understand.
Fucking exactly. New rules cause confusion. Stay right, pass with care. They just why is this even a thing? But there you go. That is why right there they are calling about manatee sex. That is the people. This it's not just Florida, it's everywhere, but this is what we're dealing with here. This is the new class of intelligence that we deal with.
I don't know, man. Sometimes I guess people just
thank you, Allie. Allie just says ha 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 ha. There you go. You just covered it.
I guess people just like fucking call. It's so funny. People hate the cops, but you call the cops for stupid shit. See, I don't.
Big Wig says I don't want to watch me having sex while I don't want to watch manatees having sex. Even like stupid people shouldn't breed. Yeah, people are stupid. So there you go.
Well, looks like all right, so I'm gonna hit this real quick. And all
right. Hey, welcome. We have Julius Caeser Mendoza.
This is us.
Welcome.
This is I live on the west side of America, where they spin lies into fairy dust. We can pick sides. This is us. This is us. This is. And don't believe the narcissism when everyone projects and expects you to listen to them. Make no mistake, I live in a prison.
Hey, while our buddy gets ready, Billy Ray Valentine wants to have a little bit of see a little manatee sex.
I'll forward it to you. So anyway, Julius, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, great to be here with you guys.
I know. I'm happy to have you on. So yeah, Cool Awesome Dude. That song is good. That's called Sick Boy, and it's from Weapons of Anew, which Julius is the drummer for. So in case you guys are not familiar with Julius, he is a Tampa regular here. He's been supporting and part of the rock and metal industry here for about 25 years. He was part of Taiko. He's a Taiko drummer. You're still part of that, right?
Yeah, Tampa Taiko currently doesn't have anything on any book shows booked yet, but we've got a new lineup, and we're amping up for the next season. I think we fire up again for the Chinese New Year in February.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
And I'm going to ask you about Taiko stuff because Taiko is so amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And the Taiko has led him to a really cool opportunity, and that is to be the drummer for Weapons of Anew. And you guys just got back from LA doing a little tour there, haven't you?
Yeah, it was a one-off, but we played at the legendary Whiskey A Go-Go. I mean, going from just practicing in the warehouse and just going and doing no shows to going and playing one of the most popular venues in the world was pretty surreal. It was quite the moment because I've been in the scene for quite some time, and pretty much just like Florida. I've done some regional touring with my other band, Super Drum, but really not really big time, and nothing very notable. We've played some decent festivals, but when I got out to Hollywood and got to see the scene out there, like at that venue, and just the support that we got was unreal. I didn't know that we were going to run into our fans and people were singing Sick Boy back to us.
Isn't that cool? I mean, like there's some, I was going to say there's some music venues, some places where you play music, and then there's some that are music venues.
Well, that one just sticks out because it's just that everybody's played there before, all of my heroes. And while I was getting pumped up for it, I was looking at all these pictures of Guns N' Roses and like even as far back as Janis Joplin. I mean, just all of that. It just means a lot to be walking up the backstage steps and just being in that place. It was. I had a lot of times where I just stood there and looked and relished the moment. I was like, man, it was almost like that. We made it kind of feeling, like, oh my God, this is it, and it was a good feeling, especially to be part of that show and be part of the Metal Hall of Fame induction for Armored Saint. And there was a lot of other rockers in the room. It was really sort of like, act like you've been there and try not to be so giddy like a schoolgirl about, oh my God, I can't believe we're doing this. But it was a lot of fun. Everybody in the band, we put in the time, and it felt so good to be on stage and show everybody what we've been up to.
That's awesome.
On top of walking back and forth with the entourage and the end of the night shenanigans, it just felt, if I ever had like a few rock star days where it just really, really felt like a rock star in this band, it would have been while we were out in LA. Just because of how fast paced everything was, and even like going to dispensaries and just junk like that, where it just felt like we were really in our element. I'm really looking forward to going back out on tour.
That's awesome. Ray, I cut you off. I'm sorry. You had a question.
I just wanted to say what's up first, man. What's going on, Julius? I wanted to introduce myself. I know you know April, but I'm her ugly co-host, and I love music.
Nice to meet you, brother.
Nice to meet you, my friend.
I really appreciate you guys having me on today.
Well, we appreciate you. I fucking love music. I love all types of music. I grew up listening from everything from Frank Sinatra to Metallica to fucking Wu-Tang Clan. So first and foremost, I listened to a couple of your jams, and I really love your shit, and it's really cool. I sensed a little early 2000s in there, and I was just wondering if you had, like, what were your inspirations kind of coming up, or like if there was that one group that really like shit, man, this is something I loved to listen to growing up. I want to just be better or do something a little more different. Like what was your inspiration coming up, bro?
Well, coming up, playing, one of my biggest inspirations was probably my mom and dad, because they always had a band going in the living room. So there was always music instruments, and of course there was always a drum set, and usually there was a drummer sleeping on our couch. So it was always that. And then growing up, going through school, I kind of got away from music. When I was in high school, I went into sports and played football and did wrestling and track, and was kind of like more of a jock, and kind of got away from it. And then right after high school, I ran into a bunch of friends, and, it was kind of like that cliche story. We just formed a punk rock band and started going at it. And then through the years, when you get with some musicians, you just feel a little bit more like it clicks better. And you want to go a little bit more serious. So, a few more years later, I was playing in a band that was, we were in the running to play at the Livestock for 98 Rock. And we were kind of like stepping it up to the next level. And, it kind of really never really went further than that for me in the scene because, I was just kind of always in local bands. And, it was a lot of fun. I mean, I've made so many like lifelong friends in the scene that we've all played in different bands and with each other for 25 years. So, I mean, it's not like I'm like trying to talk down on the scene at all. I just got worn out on it by trying to like pay your dues every time you start a new group. And then when I went in, I got an opportunity for Weapons. It kind of came through a mutual friend where he had recently seen the band play. And then, they had mentioned that they might want to be looking for a new drummer, somebody that was local. Because at the time they were kind of going through a lineup change and they really weren't sure what direction they were going to go. So when my friend got a hold of me and I ended up meeting the guys and, we hit it off pretty good. The guys kind of had a different mindset that I did because I felt like I was a little bit retired from playing in bands and I didn't know if I really wanted to go back into another band, especially kind of on a local level. So when it was all presented to me with Weapons of Anew, they had already accomplished a lot. Right. And they had a CD and then they had a single, Sick Boy. So I recently joined the band back in this past December. And then they did Sick Boy a couple of years ago with the lineup that they had coming off of the COVID. So COVID kind of shut them down a little bit. They were doing really, really good out on tour. I mean, they went from Freddie Ordine is the band leader, and he made his name in the scene with a band called Havoc Hate. It was kind of like a kind of death metal, speed metal, technical, heavy metal. And when he formed Weapons back in, I think, 2015 or 16, just based on his past, he was able to get label attention. And then they did a single and they got signed right away. I mean, then they went from playing no shows to playing the House of Blues, opening up for Alter Bridge every night and Non-Point. So like like I said, they go from playing in the warehouse to peeking out the curtain and there's 2,000 people standing there.
It's crazy.
So like they have had a lot of that success already. And then it kind of got stalled a little bit by the COVID situation. They went through a little bit of membership change. When they did Sick Boy during the COVID, that did take off quite a bit and kind of helped us get to chart on Billboard. Actually, we made it I think we debuted in the top 40.
That's
and we made it up to number 18 with that one. And it was like kind of like something they really didn't expect, but it was a blessing that it happened during the COVID. So it kind of kept us relevant. So fast forward to when I joined the band, it was sort of a transition. And when I came in, I didn't really know what was happening because I was focused on my parts and all that stuff. I mean, when I joined the band, really, they were going through, they pretty much fired half the people in the band. And I was kind of unsure how we were going to go on tour because there was already like when they on this level, everything we do is usually 3 to 4, 6 months out. So we find out about things so we can plan ahead because we all have jobs and we have to make sure we can do this. But it was wild because as soon as I got in, it was like, okay, these guys are fired. And I'm like, whoa. But it's not like we had no plan. We had another guy ready pretty much on deck for guitar. We went through a few people trying out for vocals and we found Dante. This guy is he's like a firecracker. I mean, he's got so much charisma that he kind of like energizes all us old guys into being like, oh shoot, we got to hang with this. Wait,
how old are you? How old are you?
I just turned 47.
Oh shit, that's not old, dude. I'm 47, man.
Well, I mean, I say that because in the scene, you know what I mean. The scene, you go out there with the young bucks, and they're looking at you like, oh, these guys got gray hair. But his nickname is Lebo. But if I just randomly say Lebo, I'm referring to Dante. But when we're hanging around with him, it kind of kicks everything up to just party time. I guess that's the only way to describe it. Is he's definitely the rock star in the band as far as that's concerned. If we want to find the after party, just send Lebo in there, man. He'll find it.
Listen, I'm gonna give you some advice. For if ever anyone like gets on your case for being quote unquote old, just tell them you slept with their mom or some shit. You know, just leave it that way. That's what I always do. Oh, I'm old. I probably slept with your mom.
I could be your dad, bro.
Yeah, dude. I could, but I'm not gonna test.
Yeah.
And just
40's
laugh
the
and
new
walk
30
away.
anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, I felt my age before I joined the band, and since I joined the band, I can't even tell you that it's been a wild ride. I mean, without disclosing too much, it feels like I joined Motley Crue sometimes.
You just disclosed everything right there.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna. It's not like the movie, but use your imagination anyway.
So that brings us to. I was going to ask you about taiko drumming, but
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of all of this, like right before you joined, like I know you, I know what you were going through, but you were going through a kind of a rough time, and
Yeah.
things were not going smoothly in your life when this opportunity came up.
Yeah, it really it's wild. I'm not really into fate, but some of these things that kind of dropped into place kind of was almost like a fate scenario, even down to the band name. Last year when I got my opportunity to try out, there was a couple things that I didn't do right. So it took a while to hear back from them. I heard, okay, hey, you nailed it. Learn these 3 more songs, and then we'll be in touch. And it was a while before I heard from them again. In fact, I kind of took me like in the middle of pretty much a depression, because I was presented with a life-changing event. So I was about to be starting the process of divorce, and I went into some pretty hardcore depression with that. And in one of my just kind of reaching out to try to think of something more positive, I reached out to Freddie and I said, hey man, are you guys still looking? I saw you guys released your video, and I'm still learning the stuff. I've been kind of going through the material again, and if you guys want to give me another shot. And it just so happened to be that like they were already had fired their drummer, and they were wondering what they were going to do. And since they hadn't heard from me in a while, they didn't know that I was still interested. So it sort of started back up, and I haven't looked back. It's actually really been a blessing, and something that I would I guess you could say feel more so about believing in that fate thing. So here's another funny little tie into that, is that the guitar player who joined our band during the transition, Nick, him and I used to play in a band called Anew. It was spelled Aknew, and that was 10 years ago. And that band ended a while back, and we've got a lot of friends that know us from that band. So they all, were wondering, why do we change the name to Weapons? And when they find out it has nothing to do with that group, and these guys came down here from New Jersey, and we just sort of happened to find each other, that it's, kind of like goes into that, like, whoa, maybe there is something to all this.
That's true.
And it's wild too, because the guys in the band, I mean, our group has a pretty diverse lineup, and the guys in the band all have their own individual personality. I'd say Freddie and Reno kind of have the most in common, since they've been lifelong friends from up in New York, New Jersey. And they just moved down to Florida a few years ago. And then Nick and I know each other from being in the band, but we really hadn't been staying in touch that much. And then Dante's, I think Dante's 30, he's like in his lower 30s. So he moved here from Austin, Texas. I think it was Austin or Dallas, yeah, I think it was Dallas. But he moved out here from Texas, so he doesn't really know anybody in the scene. In fact, Dante doesn't really have a ton of band experience. We found him at karaoke, and he wasn't singing rock. He was singing Michael Jackson and like all kinds of R&B tunes and pop tunes. And here's a really neat little thing about Dante is earlier this year, pretty much, I would say it might even have been the day after we said, okay, you're in the band. We left band rehearsal and he went to karaoke, which he's a regular, and everybody knows that, you know, Thursday at the Social is Dante and everybody else. But Dante went to karaoke, and as soon as he walked in the door, there was bail bondsmen there that arrested him.
What?
Because of, you know, whatever the charge was. But they was all caught on camera, and they let him sing his song because he was like up next, I guess. And so they cuffed him and sent him on stage with the cuffs. And so if you look on YouTube, I don't know if it's on YouTube, but I know it's on Facebook. It says, only in Pasco will you get arrested at karaoke, but they let you sing your song because you're up next.
Yeah, because you waited for that, right? You waited 45 minutes.
Well, he went viral with that, and, you know, it hit pretty hard. Like, you know, 100,000 or something like that views, but it was pretty funny that everybody, when we started kind of revealing that, yeah, our singer is this guy Dante, and, you know, you might have seen him on that karaoke video, and everybody's like, holy crap, that's your singer. I mean, the comments in that video are gold.
Oh my God. So,
but yeah, but the, you know, with that, going back to, like, you know, how I was feeling around that time, you know, it really helped and get me out of the hole for sure. And then, you know, it feels like ever since then, I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm not still struggling with depression and stuff because of my divorce. But now that I'm doing, you know, really active with the band, and, you know, I've been, we did, Tampa Taiko did the Renaissance Festival again. We've kind of become regulars out there. So we're looking forward to that again next year. But this year we got moved up to main stage, and I had more weekends and more people to sort of manage the team. And it was a lot of fun going through that. And it was like pretty humbling also because I had 5 or 6 different people in my cast, but there was usually only 3 of us all together on stage at once. So every week I had to kind of figure out who was going to be there and then figure out what we could do. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it grew, and I wish that at the end, you know, everybody was becoming so good that it wasn't over. But that carried through into kind of like, since I was around drumming and around a lot of my drumming friends, I started going back to drum circles. And
that was my question I was going to ask you. You had said that you were dealing with depression and you were having a really hard time. And I was going to say, how did you said you found peace through all of this. And I was going to ask you how you did that.
Well, I mean, it's more so about surrounding yourself with folks that have good vibes going, or, you know, instead of sulking in the doom and gloom of your head, because a lot of times your head's not very kind to yourself, and you can let it knock you down pretty hard. I'm my own worst enemy. You know, I've been, like I said, I'm still struggling, but it's that I'm around people like my band. You know, we might bust balls and stuff, but it's only in good fun. And if we're gonna, you know, go at each other in some kind of personal way, that's really not what our band is all about. It's usually about accountability for knowing your parts, showing up on time, well, that sort of thing. But like at the drum circle, or you know, you can just show up and you don't have to know anybody. You can just go there, and, you know, you just hear a beat, or even if you don't drum, you could just go there and enjoy the sound of it. Or if you want to go dance, It's just it's a release. And the people I've been hanging around with are pretty much drum circle every single night of the week, depending on what season it is. Some of the places shut down, but I mean, they usually go Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday has drum circle, Thursday has drum circle, Friday's kind of quiet, but Saturday starts it up again. I mean, there's a lot of them, a lot of really big beach drum circles. Those are really awesome because the energy is so high because of the number of people there. I mean, Siesta Key Drum Circle, Treasure Island, Nokomis Beach down by Venice, they all get numbers of up to like 20, 30, 40 drummers, but the attendance of the crowd gets into the hundreds, even thousands sometimes. And it's hard to not feel like a positive energy when you're looking around at all these people smiling and just kind of vibing and stuff. And it like that's what's really kept me from going down into the pits. I mean, the band too. I mean, I still work and I still do other things, but it was more so being active instead of like hanging around. I mean, because really, when I was first, like in October, when my wife first asked for the divorce, I'm like, whoa, what? I'm kind of took me a few minutes to realize what was happening. And once you start the process of all that, I was married for over 20 years, so it's not going to be an easy one. But once I started dealing with that, and I have to move out and all that stuff, I mean, it's all things that everybody else goes through. So I'm not trying to like be woe is me about it. When I'm around my friends, I can open up to them a little bit more. But like I would rather not go backwards and keep moving forward with this, and especially because there's so much going for us now and for me and for the band. Everything is it's picking up, so there's no reason for me to like sit there and focus on that stuff. There's just no reason for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that totally makes sense. And they say that music, dancing, and singing will raise your vibration. So the quickest way to kind of get out of a funk is music, dancing, and singing.
It is. I mean, when you go out there and you're at the circle and you're kind of like released for a second, you close your eyes and you're drumming, or at night at a festival or something like that around the fire, you just it's a reset. It's you kind of like, you can, if you feel like you need to like get out some aggression or something, or it can be aggressive, but in a positive way out there. You know what I mean? You're like, I'm just going to go out there and beat the crap out of my drums, but I'm going to be smiling about it the whole time instead of being like going home and punching a bag or punching a wall or something.
That makes sense. Yeah, I was social. Your social network, like the people around you, are so important too. Like next to the foods you eat and getting exercise, how healthy you are depends on how much you hang out with other people. And I think it's very underrated, like mental health, physical health, all of it. Like you need to have people.
I have a question on top of that. So during, because look, dude, I went through divorce, man. I went through divorce, and when I got divorced, I had a 3-year-old son. I mean, I still have my son's 15 now, and I got remarried, but I didn't think that was ever gonna fucking happen. But the truth is that I went through some dark times as well, and like surrounded myself around really good freaking people, and I just kept myself busy doing stuff like this here. Now, with that being said, during the pandemic, man, everybody's closed up, everybody's closed in. Like, how did you get past that, like on your own?
Except Floridians.
Yeah, I'm in New York, so I got effing screwed here. But
yeah, I heard about it, man. That's why the guys came down here, because they were up in New York. They felt like they were in prison,
bro. It's like,
yeah, they came down here, but like, my business didn't slow down. In fact, I got really, really busy doing floors. So during COVID, I just kind of doubled down on my work, and honestly, because I'd always been doing this band stuff all my life, I really never had that sort of like shut everything off as far as like my personal life, and like really kind of focused on my responsibilities as a father and as a husband, just all that. So like, to me, I felt like I doubled down, and I actually thrived over, through COVID. Saved up a little bit of money. I did a little bit of investing into my business. So like all through that, it really, I was really busy, and I got into this hardcore work mode. But ended up, I guess, in a way, because I was so busy at work and kind of not focused on fun time or me time or whatever you want to call it. I guess, my wife wasn't feeling it so much, and she's like, "Oh, how come we never do this, or how come we never do that?" I'm like, because everything's closed. Right. There's nothing's open right now, and she's like, "You want me to take her out salsa dancing after I've been laying floors all week?" I mean, I might have, had a little bit of neglect on my marriage, but I thought that I was working, I didn't really think that it was by working too hard that was gonna be the nail in the coffin. But so through COVID, actually, I did pretty good. When it opened back up, it was a little tough trying to think about how to, because I still had band things going, and I was wondering how that was all going to work out. But then I sort of, like, when I got this offer with these guys, it was, after maybe a year or two after everything started opening back up. So, COVID really didn't hit me that hard, except for, I guess, my personal life. It in the long run, it ended up kind of, I think a lot of people did a lot of soul searching during COVID, and they decided, I know a lot of people that did this. I mean, not necessarily with the divorce part, but just as far as life change things, like, because when they were in lockdown, they didn't know what they were going to do, or they couldn't do what they normally would do. So they changed, had to, adapt or do something else. Or, everybody sort of went through that together. And it's wild because everybody was going so stir crazy that it's not surprising that a lot of people are getting divorced, or a lot of people split up or quit their job and tried a new job, or any of that. It's just wild though that, it's people are still being affected by that. I heard that it was like coming back or something in Texas.
Yeah, it's always coming back.
It's always coming back.
They're always gonna like fear monger everybody and to be like, "Oh, soon I gotta get the job."
And by the way,
that's what this podcast is about, trying to help people not live in fear.
And I totally get what you're saying, dude, because like I'm a huge sports guy. Like I freaking love sports. I love my baseball, basketball, football, dude. I'm like, during the pandemic, I'm going home. I was an essential worker, and I'm fucking watching cornhole tournaments at 1:00 in the morning. Like, fuck, I want to see a baseball thrown.
Oh, that's funny.
And welcome to everybody coming in late. Hi, Steve, and happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
And Bigwig said living well is the best revenge. He would like you to know that.
Yes.
He said all of our Bigwig also made another comment that all of our health is connected, and if you're not mentally there, push-ups don't matter. Doing as many push-ups don't matter. And I would disagree with that, because I feel like if you can control certain things, you can't always control depression, but you can control what you're eating and your physical activity.
Well, April, Julius, real quick, during the pandemic, there were people that went either way. Either they
got fat or they got in shape.
They got fat and they were drinking every freaking day of the week, or they were like doing those daily workouts, and
or they were dropping weight.
Exactly.
But what I was going to say is, if you decide to take your health into your own hands, and you decide to do your push-ups and your sit-ups and go for a walk and do everything, usually if you can control one aspect of your life, a lot of times the rest of your life can fall into place after that. You'll find that it kind of just starts stacking like dominoes. So I don't know. That's just.
Well, I remember feeling like a couch potato when I was living at home and sort of not drumming and not being involved in anything, like before I joined the band. And I was eating a lot of cookies and just watching TV, and just kind of like, I would work hard and, put in the hours, but when I came home, it was just basically sit in the chair and do nothing. So I I can definitely relate to how, you know, even just your mindset when you get home, you're just like, oh, I'm done, that's it. And like I've had to switch that up because if I do that anymore, I feel like I'm going to go nuts sitting around looking at my four walls or in my kitchen or just wherever I'm at home, knowing that all my friends are out doing something somewhere fun. I'm like, yeah, I really kind of want to go do that.
But cookies are delicious, though. I mean, don't shit on
Yeah,
cookies.
I still knock out some cookies and candy bars, but not a double bag, not the whole bag. And I had to cut out ice cream. I'm
What?
pretty sure.
Oh, dude.
Ice cream's my crack.
What? That's my crack.
That's my crack, man.
That's my crack. We're gonna fight about this. Come on, we have a guest anyway.
Man.
Continue.
Well, I've noticed I've lost weight.
There you go. I tried to switch to gelato and rationalize. I'm like, yeah, gelato's
it's not
like
the same.
No, it's fucking good. All right, it's fucking good. I'm like, oh, so fewer calories. You know. And
so hey, I wanted to chime in about the edibles with the dog.
Ooh, yes, please.
I had a situation happen with one of our bands while we were out on tour. Digits Christ Super Drum was out over in Daytona, and we were playing at I don't remember the venue, but we were staying at our friend's house, and he was in a band called the Bath Salt Zombies. I mean, we've got.
Do they eat your faces off?
Almost. If you hang out with them enough, you might end up wanting to eat your own face. But
wow.
So anyway, we ended up back to homie's house, and it was in the middle of the night. You know, we're all smoking and having a little nightcap and whatnot. And he says, you know, hey, you guys want to eat a brownie? You know, and at 4 o'clock in the morning, you really don't want to eat a pop brownie.
Speak for yourself, sir.
Well, I was already high enough, so I was like, all right, cool. Well, I'll eat it in the morning, and I threw it in my backpack. And in the morning, we all woke up, and you know, it was a great morning. Dude's cooking breakfast, and he made coffee for everybody, and then he breaks out the brownies and was like, hey, you guys want a brownie? And we're all like, yeah, cool. So we all ate the brownie, and I kind of forgot about the one in my backpack. And he left us, you know, he said, all right, guys, I'm going to see Primus. Can you just lock the door before you guys take off? So everything was cool. We hung out. We were about to leave to go do our gig, and we locked the door. And we get a call a couple hours later, and he's like, hey, man, what did you do to my dog? And we're like, what? And he's like, man, my mom picked up my dog, and he's all fucked up.
I don't mean to laugh. It's pretty funny.
we're like, I don't know, man. How's he acting? And she's like, well, he's all stumbling around and shit. And she said he acts like he's high. And, you know, we're all sitting there looking at each other like, I don't know, man. I mean, like, does anybody know what happened? And I was like, well, let me look at my backpack real quick. And I looked in my backpack, and I found a baggie that was chewed through where the dog ate the brownie out of my backpack. I guess it was sitting on the floor next to the couch.
Fantastic.
And I'm sitting there being like, oh my God, dude, I found this baggie in my backpack. I think your dog ate the brownie. And he's like, oh, dude, because he knows how powerful his brownies are. So they had to take the dog to the vet and have his stomach pumped.
Oh, poor thing.
Well, you know, he had to leave the Primus concert too. So I was like, damn, bro.
I respect the fact.
I'll tell you the story. Then.
Real quick though, I respect the fact that you told the truth, bro. Because you could have been like, I have no fucking idea why your dog is stumbling around.
Well, I mean, he's our friend, and we know that dog too. So we're like, damn, bro, the schnauzer.
Oh, it's a schnauzer? A high schnauzer? That's amazing. Do you have video? I'm sorry.
No video. No. All
right, go ahead, April.
So I was doing a shoot last week with my photographer friend who came down from Indiana, and he was there all week, and people were just in and out of my house. And on the last day, my friend, why do my paws look like hands? On the last day, my friend was coming down. Steve was leaving to go to the airport to pick up his rental car. And my friend, she was like, oh, I want to grab a few pictures before he leaves. And he's like, yeah, let's do that. So I have one spare room, and his stuff was still in the spare room. So when she came down, she kind of just threw her bags down. She was going to stay the night. and we had plans. We were going to go to FetCon. FetishCon was in town.
Yeah.
We're going to go check out the oddities and curiosities. We had all these plans, right?
Nice.
Notice I say had.
No.
So yeah. So she did her pictures, right? We packed Steve up in the car. We went down to the airport. We got him situated. We come back. I walk in the door. I open the door. I'm like, what the fuck? There was like wrappers and shit thrown everywhere. It was all over the floor. I'm like, what happened here? Because we had just kind of cleaned up before that. I was like, a little bit, and there was nothing on the floor. And I was like, wait a second, did we put the corgi away? Because that's something the corgi would do, not the pit bull. He's good. So I look, the corgi's in his cage. The pit bull is also in his cage, not moving. And the look on her face, she's like, oh, immediately she recognized it. So he went in her bag and he ate gummies and then a quarter cookie.
Oh.
So yeah, he got at least a double, and there was mushrooms in there too, but he was not interested in those. So he tore into everything, and he was in the cage, not moving. And I'm starting to freak out. I'm like, oh my God, what do I do?
Was he standing though, or was like standing staring at the
wall?
wall?
No. This dog was not standing. And hi, Colin. By the way, I texted you about next week. So no, he was not standing. So he was not responding. There was nothing. My dog let the corgi out. The corgi's like boing, 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 boing. The other one just doesn't move. So I start looking up. I'm like, what do you do when? And let me just tell you, this was a Friday afternoon. Because dogs and appliances only break after 5 o'clock on Fridays, right? It's just the law of averages, right? And she and I have been dealing both collectively with so many unexpected expenses. And she's just immediately, she feels terrible. She's like, oh my God, I'll pay for anything. I'll take him to the vet. Whatever's wrong, I'll pay for it. I'm just like, let me just hang on. I'm trying to avoid any of that. We both got hit. You know how the electric bill has gotten here in Tampa, right? I mean, it has gotten bad. You know, I got hit with $402. She got hit with $420 something. I'm just like, yeah, hang on. Let me see what I can do. So we get online and we look. So xylitol. It said, you really don't need to take your, of course, we're reading all these horror stories about dogs. So it says, if there's xylitol in the edibles, you need to take the dog to the vet immediately. Other than that, you can kind of chill out and let them wear off, but it's going to take about 48 hours. So we go through and we try and figure out all the ingredients. But of course, the packages are cheap to shit and you can't see anything. So we start calling the manufacturers. And luckily they answered. And
wow,
she gets on the phone. She starts calling. She's like, "Hey, we bought cookies there because like 2 weeks before we went to the Canadelic Festival and we bought cookies." She finds out, she calls them. She's like, "This is what happened. You may be familiar with something like this happening." They're like, "Oh yeah, this has happened. This is what's in our cookies. This is what to expect. Wow. This is what's going to happen."
That's great customer service.
Oh my God, they were great. So they're like, the dog's going to throw up. And probably throw up again and again. And then it's probably going to have diarrhea. And this is going to go on for about 2 days or so. So luckily they warned us, told us what was in there. There's no xylitol. They said, just keep them hydrated. So I already had all the syringes from having chickens and all that. So I was just filling up a syringe every 2 hours with the clear Pedialyte and water. We gave him a syringe. His eyes were rolling to the back of his head. He was completely unresponsive. It was freaking me out. Yeah, she would go over every, 20, 30 minutes and kind of wiggle him, make him move. He would twitch his leg, and we kind of kept him going. All through the night, we were taking turns getting up and giving him syringes and everything. He did at some point that night throw up everywhere, which was nice. Good. Good times. And then the next morning, he started throwing up and shitting everywhere.
Sounds like me in my 20s.
Yes.
It sounds like the night after fucking drinking some Jägermeister.
So the next day, he was not passed out. The next day, he was just high as fuck. Like high, like couldn't walk. He was wobbly and just diarrhea everywhere, puke somewhere. So he was kind of all over the place. And then the day after that, he was kind of like, I don't know. So I was, and the whole time she's like, I feel so bad. Oh my God, I feel so bad. I'm like, it's okay. He's going to be fine. It's just marijuana. So he also ripped into her overnight bag that was in my room, like scattered everywhere. And that was where she had like her acetaminophen and ibuprofen and her vitamins.
Fuck.
Because luckily she didn't have her gummy vitamins in there because that's what he smelled. So he didn't rip into that. But if he had actually eaten like Tylenol or ibuprofen, he definitely would have had to go to the vet. So, but the weed was fine. So he just kind of worked it off. And then we went outside. He was walking again. He's doing okay. He walked again. He was outside and a branch fell and he jumped sideways. And I have a pool. And he didn't realize there was no concrete underneath of him. And he jumped sideways into the deep end of the pool. And I was like, 1 minute I'm here, and the next minute I'm here. He's like this, trying to get out of the pool. I'm like, so I'm jumping in to go get him out of the pool. I'm like, oh my God, this just keeps getting better and better. So needless to say, we did not go to FetishCon this weekend. We did not go to Oddities and Curiosities this weekend.
Oh, wait, this just happened.
Yeah, this was just this weekend.
This is real time over the weekend. So
yeah, he's just going back.
Follow the dog around for a little bit of poo-poo, but not at FetCon.
Yep.
So have you had any experiences like that with your bandmates?
Did they throw up and shit?
Not with shit. And
that was shit, but
I'd say that, we haven't had that much experience together, like on the road. The guys do a lot of work on the road. So they've probably got some pretty funny stories. I know that when we're out and about drinking, I'm probably got one of the weakest stomachs. So I'm not gonna sit there and drink the whole bottle of Tito's. Or if I do, I better have somebody holding a pot for me the next day because I'm gonna be.
They gotta hold your dreads back.
Yeah. Libo's gotta hold my dreads. A couple of weeks ago, we were working out of town. We went out to Gainesville, and of course, if I'm going to be out on a town with Dante, he wants to find where the karaoke's popping. So we found karaoke and we found food and we found the country line dancing all on the same corner. And so we had some tacos and then we did some karaoke, getting warmed up, and then we ended the night over at the line dancing place. And my knees are shot from doing floors for 25 years, so I don't do line dancing, but Dante knows all the line dances. So I was getting a huge kick out of this, like the whole line dancing scene, and I guess there's certain songs and there's certain dances and they all do it. I mean, they were doing all these like turnaround, yeah, they were like all doing like this turnaround jump kick and clap under your arms. And I'm like, man, if I was standing on that dance floor and even trying to do that, for one, I would probably blow a knee out, and then I would get kicked in the face by some cowboy boot or something like that. Like, and this is all going through my head as I'm watching them all do their thing. I'm like, and then they all stomp at the same time, and it kind of has this like stampede kind of sort of, I don't know, this big old, it just got that sound, and I'm like, wow, man, I'm really in a line dance place.
But how cool was it though, like watching these people like totally like in sync, just doing
it was great. I mean, and especially because it was it was all in Gainesville, of course, University of Florida, so every young girl in there with their Daisy Dukes and their cowboy boots, and
well, that sounds terrible.
My son and Dante were like living in their glory, and here I am over there standing there with my drink, like, like all these kids are my kids' age. I was kind of thinking that, but like, I'll just stand over here, and it's funny because Dante's got a lot of charisma, so he'll pretty much talk to anybody, and once he does, he's the life of the party. So kind of wingmanning for Dante that night was interesting because I'd be hanging around and they're like, oh, you know this guy? Yeah, he's my drummer. And I'm like, oh, all right, hey, this is funny because I told my son, I said, next time, bro, when it's like, we'll go to the college town, you can't forget your ID, man, because they'll let you in if you're 18, but you have to have physical ID. So on that night, he left his ID at the house, and where the the story is going to culminate with me having way too much Tito's and waking up the next day kind of like not knowing where I was and being like, you know, kind of like this totally feels like we're on tour because we were roughing it in some dorm room. And, you know, the first people I saw was Dante, and I saw my son, and I'm like, whoa, what the hell happened last night? You know, it was like one of those things. And there I was, ralphing in the toilet. I'm like, oh my God, what did I eat? You know, like, oh, must have been tacos.
It's always tacos or pizza, right?
He wakes up with like a plaid shirt and a giant metal belt buckle, not knowing where it came from.
Oh, right. I get the cowboy hat. I'm like, where the hell does the cowboy hat come from?
That's fantastic. Oh, good, April.
No, I was going to say, so where can people find you? Where can they find you on social media? Where are you playing next? What's going on with you guys?
So right now with
your stuff.
Yeah, with Weapons of Anew, we just released our new single called Angel Has Fallen. It came out a few weeks ago on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, pretty much wherever you stream, you can find it. Angel Has Fallen. We just released our video. The video that we came out a couple of weeks ago as well. We did a show on the same night to celebrate that. We worked with Thomas Crane from Kill Devil Films. He's kind of been making his name lately the last 5 years or so by, you know, just unprecedented work. A lot of people have been using him, a lot of local guys. My friend Cypher Machine worked with them, but they've also worked with bigger names like Queensryche. Recently worked with Queensryche. So a couple months ago, we sort of fired up the Weapons camp and said, okay, guys, you know, we're going all in. And it went from being, we're going to shoot 2 videos this weekend to we're going to shoot 3 videos this weekend. So we started with Angel Has Fallen, and then the second video is called Demons. And then the third video is going to be called Take You Down. And it's going to be linked together as a short film at the end. So it's going to be a trilogy of videos that kind of tells the story. I'm not going to go into the story too much, but, you know, the first one, if you've seen the video for Angel, you know, it talks about, you know, Angel has fallen. So it goes through the trials of what, you know, what happened. And then, of course, Demons, it's going to discuss, you know, our demons and the things that haunt us and that ultimately, you know, is going to culminate to Take You Down. But the last video is going to be pretty special. I think that when we release it, because of the content, it's going to be either R borderline X-rated because of the gore factor.
Nice.
I guess I can say that without giving away too much, but I mean, stuff happens in the storyline. It was a lot of fun, you know, kind of kicking around the ideas and acting out the things, because we actually had, you know, got a chance to, you know, be in our own video, but some of the stuff was staged. We had to do a little bit of acting. It was a lot of fun. It was so much to do in a weekend that I can't even believe we did it all in 3 days. It was a good kickoff, though, and a good sort of like one of those bonding experiences with the band. So since we haven't been on any long tours together, we have been spending hours and hours and days, like basically months together in the room, dialing all this stuff in. You know, the level of musicianship on this band is just so, you know, the bar is set pretty high, so everybody has to make sure you come in there, you know your stuff, you know, and if somebody needs a little bit of help, you know, you can help your guy. You guys can rehearse together, you know, do what it takes, because, you know, we're not going to make it if there's one weak link. Everybody has to be on.
It's like a marriage. It's like a marriage.
It's a weird thing with being in bands. It is like a marriage to a bunch of dudes. You know, people get on each other's nerves and stuff like that, and that's part of being in a group. It's you got to work with your team, work with the group, you know, for the better of the group, not just for the better of one guy or you know, there's no rock star.
Oh, hold on, I'll bring him back. There he is.
Everybody has a rock star moment, but like the point I was making was that it was that weekend was a good little jump start for the group as a whole, as like, okay, cool, we just did this all together as, you know, a band. It was almost like a little adventure, like kind of like going on tour or going to a festival with your friends for a couple of days. You know, afterwards you come home, you're dirty, you're smelly, but you're like, wow, we did this all together. And that was really a real good push, because we did that, I think, in the beginning of June. And right as that was happening, our management was in town, and they put together the show for us out at the Whiskey. And, you know, so we went, you know, pretty much like almost like the same scenario that they did before, not playing in front of 2,000 people, but like going from nothing to now we're going to the Whiskey to go play a show. It was I wouldn't say intimidating, but it was a fun, you know, thing to get past, where we're like, yeah, we're gonna go do this. You know, it was
Surreal.
there was no slowing us down at that point. We did the videos and all that stuff, and it was fired. You know, we fired it up full blast. So we started doing 8 to 10 hour days for that whole month leading up to the show. So when we went into the Whiskey, you know, we were grinding out, and you know, it felt like the show, it was over before we knew it. And I'm like, wow, I can't believe we're done, and now we got to go home, you know. And we still watched the other bands, and we hung out that night and met all the fans, and kind of like went through the whole, you know, the party and all that stuff. And we ended up back at the Rainbow, over in the middle is Lemmy's Lounge. So we sat in there, and by that point in the night, Weapons had formed an entourage of like 25 people that was following us, bar hopping. And it was crazy, because we're looking around being like, holy crap, man, everybody in this room is with us. And, you know, we only went there as the band on the plane. So when we are looking around and seeing all these people, some of the people knew Weapons from before. Some of them were the fans that were screaming our lyrics back at us. You know, we want to meet the fans. We want to party with the fans, and, you know, hang out and be friends with everybody. I mean, because we're all humans. Even though we're on a stage, when we walk off the stage, we're still standing on the same ground as they are. So, right. You know, we're not better or bigger than anybody else. Especially right now. I mean, it's grassroots still. You know, we might have a couple of feathers in our cap by way of like endorsement or like record label, or, you know, we have management and things like that. But, you know, when it comes down to it, we're people. You know, we go out there, we make friends with the other bands. You know, we're not playing battle of bands. There's no competition out here. If we're on the same stage and we're on the same bill, you know, kudos. Hey, let's step it up. Let's exchange information. Let's, you know, network. You know, it's really network. The only way to get, you know, recognition or, you know, keep it going is to, you know, have dudes in the band that are gonna, you know, be cool to the fans. I mean, I don't really particularly care for bands that have, you know, huge attitudes. I mean, I get it. Some of the bands are big time, but when I've met some of my heroes, the ones that were like super cool, those are the ones that are still my heroes, or I look up to. The ones that have a reputation, you know, I'm not going to like say any names, but there's, you know, you don't need to do that.
Right. No kidding. So, no, seriously, thank you for being with us, and we really appreciate your time. And anybody that wants to see the rest of the videos for Weapons of Anew, go over to YouTube and subscribe to their channel. Check out what they've got, and when the new ones are up, you'll be first to see them. And you can also follow them on Facebook. So, all right, Julius, thank you for being here.
I'm actually watching the video. It's kind of dope right now.
Yeah.
You mind if I just play about 20 seconds real quick so everybody gets just a little taste?
Do it. Yeah.
I love this. This shit is awesome.
Yeah,
dude.
It's good. It's good. I want to see you guys make it all the way to the top. And I'm also going to like message you about drum circles. So I will be talking to you soon. All right, cool. Thank you for being on.
Julius Caeser, you are the man, brother. Thank you for spending so much time with us, bro.
WeaponsoftheNew.com, y'all.
All right,
You're
have a good one,
bro.
All right.
Blessings
Take
to
care.
you, brother.
Right, you guys. Have a good one,
brother. Dude, cool. Oh, I'm only gonna stay 15, 20 minutes. Get out of here.
So you can make it from karaoke.
Jesus
Who knew?
Christ. What a cool. He just seems like a dude that I would love to just fucking chill with, you know, and hang out with.
Oh, he's so cool. He is. I met him at the Ren Fair. So and I was invited to get on stage and play the drum with him with his group. I didn't even get to talk about the Taiko drumming. The Taiko drumming is amazing.
So tell us about that real quick. Yeah.
Yeah, in a nutshell, Taiko drumming is like Blue Man Group is Taiko drumming to some degree. It's very physically demanding. It has its own thing going on. It's spiritual, physical, and it's you look it up. It's got its roots in, I want to say, Japan and I believe Korea, but it is really, really amazing drumming. And there's a specific way to do it, and it's very showy. It's like
I think I could actually pull something up really quickly while you're describing it. So it's Taiko, like the
Taiko, Taiko, Taiko. Yep.
Jesus, hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
This thing is freaking. This is blasting in my ear right now. You heard that music? No.
Yeah.
So Taiko drumming.
Yeah, Taiko drumming.
See, Taiko drum battle music.
Maybe. Yeah, sure.
Let's see what the fuck this is. Oh, okay. Here we go.
Yeah. Alex, I used to be a drummer when I was in school. Back in band camp.
Wait, hold on. Let me just pull up the video real quick. We're about to go home, actually. We're almost done with the show. Let me show a little bit of this real quick. Let me bring this up for you guys watching. If you listening on podcast, you should tune in live. Here we go. So this is
watch this. This is crazy.
Oh, here we go. I'm just gonna play a short sample. I don't want to get freaking struck. Hold on. Whoa, look at them.
Yeah, and these guys have to be in good shape.
Well, yeah, these guys, they're just standing there. Are they gonna do anything? Oh,
well, they will. They bring up. It starts slow.
Holy shit! That's what she said.
It's an art. There's an art to it.
That's what she said. Sir, you guys are kind of ripped.
Well, real Taiko drummers are.
Look at those sticks. Jesus. Yes.
And this is what they do at the Ren Fair here too.
In the Blue Man Group, they have the blue paint on it, and everything's splashing all over the place, and it's like, how cool is that? I like this. All right, let me fade this. Let me just fade this out. I just wanted to give you guys a.
Yeah, but there's some. If you look up some Taiko drumming, there's some really, really jamming stuff going on there.
That's cool. So listen. First and foremost, I thought Julius Caesar was fucking cool as fuck, man. Just like
Julius Caeser Mendoza.
Julius Caeser Mendoza.
Mendoza.
El Latino. Is Latino?
It doesn't every guest that we bring on here.
I guess so. Hey, did you hear that fucking Ben and Jerry's lost $2 billion?
I did. That was a follow-up story to that. No, I guess you were right, and I was wrong. And there's your follow-up. Yes. Go ahead. You can tell that story.
It says here, and I quote, I'm reading this off of B News, but it's all over the place. It says the woke ice cream company Ben & Jerry's scorned the U.S. on July 4th, telling Americans their country exists on stolen indigenous land and to return it. Long story short, basically, ever since then, the Native Americans that they were, I don't know, trying to put over, I guess you would say, or trying to like, oh yeah, we're gonna, you know, what's the word? Not green lighting, what is the word?
Greenwashing.
No, they were like trying to fucking like suck up to the Native Americans and try to put and the Native Americans like, yeah, good idea. You're fucking
well, the chief in that area actually contacted them and I believe the local newspaper and requested that they give up their land back to his tribe.
Yeah,
and
because
never got a response.
They built, now this is the original tweet here, guys, for those seeing. So this was on July 4th. These idiots tweeted, this is the 4th of July. It's high time we recognize the U.S. Shut up. Yeah. So they got fucking, and you know what's so funny? Because we can go right into this real quick. So remember how people were like really up in arms about the fucking Washington Redskins and shit? The football team. I don't know if you heard about this, but check this out, guys. This is a quick little story, and I gotta go pee real quick, but we're almost done.
Run the story.
Once again, the name of the football team playing in Washington, D.C. is up for debate. The Washington Redskins name was changed in 2020 after years of backlash, at least some backlash, citing insensitivities to Native Americans. The athletes played a couple of seasons as the Washington football team before switching to the Washington Commanders in 2022.
But now the Native American Guardians Association is demanding the Washington Commanders change its name back to the Redskins to honor the history of their people. A petition supporting the change has racked up almost 100,000 signatures. Joining us with
oh man, what's next? Aunt Jemima's gonna say, "I want my syrup back."
Well, here's the thing. That was the whole point of the Redskins team. That the team name, it was to honor like the Seminoles, the Seminoles.
Yeah.
Like you're putting over there. So I always wonder.
By the way, Florida made a law. They officially do not recognize preferred pronouns.
Shut up.
That is a law here now. No.
So what does that mean? So in other words,
I guess you will not be criticized if you prefer not to have preferred pronouns.
Are you shitting me? So oh well, it's not like here in New York. New York, if you say now I have to I really don't give a shit. But most of the time, if let's say I go to a Starbucks, which I actually stopped going to Starbucks. This is my personal choice. I used to like Starbucks coffee, but then they started putting over the whole woke shit and giving out cups with messages on them that cool. If you're into it, that's on you. I respect it. But again, shoving shit down our throat, just like Ben and Jerry's did, just like fucking Bud Light did, just like Budweiser. And I just even though I like the coffee, I just said, all right, fuck it, I'll go to Dunkin'. Or even better, I started making my own coffee and bringing it to work. Old school.
There you go. Save that money. Save that money.
I buy some Café Bustelo.
Uh-huh.
And I make 2 cups and I put it in I have the old school what do you call it? The thermos?
Yeah.
Throw it in my bag. I got coffee for days. How you doing?
Make the Cubano coffee.
Yes, the Cuban coffee. So I mean that's pretty much it. I really don't have much to talk about.
No. I was just looking. Speedway said that he plays Taiko professionally in the Sarasota Ren Fair.
What?
Well, then I have seen you then because I go to that. That's my favorite Ren Fair. So that's the best Ren Fair in the area. Yeah.
So how come have you guys met or no?
I've watched the shows. I've been at that stage. Yeah.
Hey, Speedway, next time you're doing it, I dare you just while you pounding the drums, just scream out, "Hey, Fro!" real loud. That'll be fucking awesome.
If or just see me, yeah. Yeah.
Or while he's drumming, I want him really nice and loud. I want you to just yell out.
Yeah, I've seen you. I remember. That's what I tip you guys. I tip all you guys. So
I want him to do this. Look, while he's drumming, I want him to yell this.
Big ass titties.
While you're drumming,
there
can you do that for me?
Yes.
Yeah,
and those are really good shows. We appreciate those. We actually center our day around 2 things: human chess and the taiko drumming.
The taiko drumming.
And Brian, hello, thank you for being here. I didn't get a chance to say hi to you. Brian is also one of our Ren Fair people. Nice. He's the Tin Man.
The Tin Man.
He's a big tin man. He makes all these things out of tinfoil that turn into like awesome art.
Oh, I love that. I know what you mean.
I know. Yes.
That shit is fucking cool. Hey, speaking of art, the art of burning down countries like Canada, Hawaii, Maui.
Yeah, what's going on with that? This is not normal or natural.
Listen.
There's something's going on. It doesn't seem right.
Too many of these fucking wildfires just popping up out of nowhere, and I don't want to hear. See, this is what I'm thinking.
They're trying to normalize all these weird things, and they're not normal.
Well, not only normalize it. So, look, I'm not going to go down too big a rabbit hole, but I got
Eva's saying it's arson and control.
See, that's what I think. And
I think that too.
But where is it coming from? Like, I mean, how difficult is it?
Land grab.
Not even that. Listen,
Land grabs.
we have satellites in the sky that shoot lasers.
No, I'm just saying that land grabs.
Yeah.
Land and time and youth are the most popular, the most profitable, most valuable things. So what won't people do for land, time, and youth?
What I think they want to do is they want to push down our throats that everything is burning down because the earth is heating up and all this other shit.
Yes.
That's what I think this is just an assumption.
I think Hawaii is a testing ground.
Jeez, that's so sad, man. And the worst part about this is in order to get over an agenda, allegedly, people have to lose their lives.
Oh, they're saying 100 people died, but the Islanders are saying about 450 people died.
Oh my God, that's
And
so
a lot of
sad.
them. So here's the thing: they didn't have school that day. They canceled school that day, and
Oh no,
they shut the water off. Is what some of the Hawaiians are saying.
Johnny man, I'm sorry to hear that, brother. I'm from
Yeah.
Hawaii. I'm devastated for my hometown island that got burned down, brother. I'm so sorry, man, for real.
So it ended up a lot of children died. So I mean, this is unbelievable. I mean, it really is. And I think if you honestly, and I have so many things to say that I can't even speak. Sorry, just a second.
Take it easy. Take a deep breath.
If you think that the government has your best interests in mind, you do not know history.
Mm-hmm.
And Alex says first Australia, then Canada, now Hawaii with these fires.
Come on.
This is an agenda. Okay.
Easy.
These are not natural. And if you remember with Australia, the prime minister got caught trying to hide the science. He was bribing the scientists not to publish the information because he was trying to take the money that they were allotting to give back to the. Remember, I think we had this on. I guess Colin was the producer then, but he got caught trying to keep the money that was supposed to be put back into the animals for the foresting there. So
this is the tweet you shared. This tweet with me. It says, okay, it says locals in Maui are refusing to sell their land to elites. It says the part of the island mainly destroyed by the fires was prime area, right next to lavish mega mansions. And another note here says now a lot of those locals are forced to sell their land, and many tragically died in the flames. Wow. Huh.
Yeah, and then nothing that Oprah owns. She was buying up land like crazy. Nothing that she owns was touched, from what I understand. She came in there.
It says here, yeah. Oprah, Jeff Bezos, Lady Gaga, Bill Gates, Morgan Freeman, Will Smith, Julia Roberts can all suck an egg.
She came in there to help, but of course she brought in all camera crews to make it, visible. And the Islanders said no, get out, leave us alone.
That's right. When she
Islanders
went in there,
are banding together. Yeah.
Well, you know what? You don't fuck with the Islanders, man. I'm not talking
that's what we are about to see, a first class lesson. Americans, pay attention, because we're going to see what it's like to unite, because these Islanders are going to show us what happens when people unite and how they get things done, because we can't do it. Apparently, we actually believe what they tell us. We believe there's two sides. We believe there's a left and a right. We fight with each other over the dumbest things. We believe this stuff. Watch Hawaii. You're going to see them unite and get things done, because for some reason we can't do it, but they will show us how to do it.
It's a tragedy.
It is a tragedy.
Well,
and from what I understand, is the money even going to them that if we send to the Red Cross, or should you find like the smaller?
Oh, I don't trust that shit
I don't either. There's a girl named Crystal Teeny. If you look her up on Instagram, she goes by Crystal Teeny. She started her own fundraiser. I completely believe she's legit, and she's raised, I think, over $13,000 in one day for them. So
I'll be honest.
I think it's safe to donate to her fundraiser for them.
I'd rather donate to like a rapper that legit goes out there with cash in hand, and just fucking gives out cash, because I've seen it, or like certain influencers that are not part of the big scheme of things. That's
her. Yeah, she's an influencer that has ties to Hawaii.
But man, my heart goes out to our brothers and sisters in Hawaii, and like I said, I can't wait until they start raising shit. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna start playing this out.
Wait, I got two more things to say before you play this out.
Let me just
a reminder. Just a reminder. Once again, there's no such thing as hate speech.
You sure?
There's only speech that we don't like, and that any word, any slur can be used in an affectionate or a negative connotation.
Of course.
And hello there. So, hey, bitch. So, you know what I'm saying?
I get called a silly cunt by all my Australian friends.
Exactly. So do not let anyone tell you there is such a thing as hate speech. It does not exist.
Word.
And labeling things as hate speech is just another way to control the language.
Boobies.
And when they control the language, they control us. So there's one thing to keep in mind. Secondly, I found something that you guys might be interested in. It's called White Flag App. So if you are having a crisis of any type, it's a trauma-based app, and it's peer-to-peer. So you can look up White Flag App. I did research it, and you can put in as much information as you are comfortable with, and it will match you if you're having suicidal thoughts or you're dealing with certain types of trauma. It will match you to the person
Is this it?
that could best help you with whatever your situation is. It's called, you're raising the white flag, and it's not professionals. There's not money involved. This is just peer to peer. You're going to be talking to somebody who's been through it already, kind of like AA. So if you need help and you can't get it, and you don't want to talk to people professionally, I guess, and you would like to talk to somebody, look it up, White Flag App, and maybe that can be helpful to somebody.
Cool.
So
Very
that's
cool.
it. I just wanted to mention that.
So I just wanted to tell everybody that next week I got my son coming over, and I got some things to do with him. I'll do my regular wrestling show in the morning, but then I'm gonna be like gone the next 2 days doing stuff with Aiden. He's coming over to visit, and I'm gonna be spending some quality time with my son because school is right around the corner. So I want to try to get as much time with him as possible. So I won't be hosting the show, unfortunately.
Colin said he would. I see he was in here. He said he would do it.
That's why I said unfortunately. You guys are stuck with fucking Colin. I'm sorry. I apologize ahead of time. Colin is terrible, inside and out. Let me just stop sharing the stupid screen.
Colin.
Oh, do you do? Are you sure?
I do. We have great fun together.
Whatever. But fine. Colin will fucking be here next week, and I guess I love you guys, and I'll miss you next week, but I'll be here the following week, God willing. And just do me a favor, guys, if you don't mind. Just if you believe in prayer, say a prayer for the family of my boy Jason Acosta, just Jay. Keep positive thoughts and vibes to his family, because they're going through some shit. And of course, right now, listen, man, I said this in my podcast earlier today. Every day is a gift. Stop fucking complaining.
Yep.
Just enjoy the gift that's been given to you, and just pray for another one. You know what I'm saying, man?
Yep. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. So make sure the people that you love, make sure they know you love them. To Chowny Man and to Champagne Kenny, thank you for coming in late. I saw your comments. You guys are awesome. And boobs are love speech. You're right. So,
Word.
love.
With that note, guys, I won't see you next week, but you'll see those two boobs next week. And speaking of boobs, Colin will be here. So I love you all, and I'll see you guys next week.
We love you. Thank you for being here.
Bye. I gotta go pee, man. Seriously,
I know.
It's killing me. It's like coming out of my eyes right now. It's insane. Hey, did I mention Colin's a weirdo? Oh, wait, we're still live.
You might have said that.
Sorry.
We love you, Colin. Hey, BRV.
BRV sucks too. Bye.